like
beverages.
And beverages, yeah. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, I love Ziltoid for the sake that maybe I am not capable of doing, or not capable, but not willing to do strapping at this point because it's not like I'm over it either. It's just that was definitely a part of my life that I'm like almost 40 now, right? Like it's silly for me to act like I was 22, right? Even if it makes you a lot of money, it's like ridiculous, right? So there's a lot of things I just don't feel like saying anymore. But Ziltoid's got no problem saying them, right? So basically, like the next record is just him, making his next move, right? And it's interesting.
Will that concert be available on DVD?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I think that it's like things are actually, now that I'm like touring again, things are moving a lot quicker than I expected. I thought it would just be like, okay, well, let's get back and start getting our feet wet. But I mean, it's like, holy cow! Like every day, there's like something going on. So I'm trying to make it a spectacle in the amount of time we have with the budget that we've got. Like with like visuals and like a choir and like characters and all that sort of thing. And if I can pull it off, then absolutely. But if it screws up, like things tend to, right? Then it would be a very interesting DVD, right? But I'll try it for sure. Yeah, for sure.
So I'm sure, or stream it because I'm sure a lot of people would love to see that.
You know what? It's like I wish I didn't have to worry about money because then I just basically do it all and just be like, there, take it. I mean, like really. But I mean, you got life that gets in the way of that kind of altruistic musical thing, right? It's like, nah, that'd be great and everything, but I really kind of like, eating. So we'll see how it goes, right?
Yeah. I guess on the money side of things, you created Heavy Debbie Records for your music, but would you ever consider taking on other bands?
No. I mean, it's like I don't have any desire to like be the bad guy, right? And it's like, well, not even be the bad guy. It's just like to be a record company. I mean, really, it's like in this day and age, it's like I know how I am and was with record companies. You always expect record companies to like take you to the moon, right? But essentially, it's like you can't if you got like no money. It's like, what are you gonna do? It's like your record doesn't sell because you're no good. Not even that you're no good. It's that no one wants to buy it. You know what I mean? It's like there's bands that have no label and put their stuff up on MySpace and sell millions of copies, right? So I don't think it's got anything to do with somebody else doing it for you. I think it really has to do with just do it yourself, right? If you want to do it, just do it yourself. And so with Heavy Debbie Records, essentially, I made that record label because no one was signing me, right? Like it was like 15 years ago, and I was like sending demos out to everybody, and everybody was like, no. So Sony in Japan said, well, we'll distribute it for you if you make your own label. So I was like, all right, here's Heavy Debbie Records, right? But in terms of how lucrative Heavy Debbie Records really is, I mean, I live a pretty modest lifestyle, right? Like, I managed to get like a cool Pro Tools rig, and I've got some companies that are kind enough to kind of give me gear. But really, it's like, it's a job, right? So you gotta work.
Your last few albums, you've had a revolving door of musicians playing with you. And you were talking about how you wouldn't probably do strapping a young lad again. Is there a chance that you would ever have a permanent lineup of musicians with you again?
I don't know about that, in all honesty. I mean, I'm very happy with the guys I've got now, but it's one element to what I want to do musically, right? Like, the thing that I find is it's like I've got a real solid vision for what I want to do, and there's a lot of times where other musicians also have a solid vision, and then it usually starts off okay, but then after a while it's like, well, I really want to get my riffs in there, right? And I'm thinking, yeah, but it's like that's not how I work. I mean, I just kind of do it in my head, and I just go, pow, there it is, right? I mean, there's elements of it that have wiggle room, like in terms of fills or performances or feel or whatever, but I mean, the song was like a song, right? Eventually, would I like to get into a band where everybody contributes? Like, yeah, that'd be cool. But right now, it's just not that. So I enjoy different musicians for what they can bring to the music, right? Like, some drummers like bring out different things in me than others, right? For the live stuff, though, I'm hopefully going to use a solid group of dudes, like depending on how we manage to pull this off, right? But we've got a good thing going, and I'd like to be able to keep it going. But your guess is as good as mine.
Do you have any other plans musically beyond Seed Squared?
Yeah, I mean, there's always something, right? But I mean, in terms of like things that I think are not going to like totally just be a waste of everybody's time, not really. I mean, I got this thing where I want to dress up as this big hooded monk with a big crazy smile and play bass with these vibrating triangle, you know, things that look like a sitar, except they got the faces of gnomes, and when you play certain notes it glows different color, and I call them the resonognomes, right? And just the bass would let them react depending on it, and they put echoes on that and everything, and have pictures of the universe behind me, and I have this big cloak and everything. But really I don't know how interesting that would be, other than just like a lot of work to make some stupid resonating gnomes, right? So I call myself Gnome Chomsky though, and I have a big mouth. So
we'll see what happens.
I don't know if that one's going to come to light.
Is there anything else you would like to say?
Well, I don't know, I'm excited to do it again. I mean, it's like, I'm just trying to find some sort of balance in my life between like family and friends and work and music and all that. And this is nice to kind of reconnect with a lot of people and like kind of confront a lot of things that's been troubling me, right? So I'm good to go.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers.